So the last time I was really excited about a Titleist driver was the 975s, which came out about 2 decades ago. They have never been known, really to me at least, as a driver company. I always think of their irons, I think of their wedges, the Vokey wedges, and of course Scotty Cameron putters, but drivers have always lagged behind as far as I'm concerned, and I know a lot of people like them. But for me, just not the big show for Titleist. However, this year with the release of the TSi2 and the TSi3, Titleist drivers have once again got my attention. So I've come out to Edwin Watts here in Tampa. We're going to take a look at the TSi2 and 3 models and see if they live up to the hype. So before I take you inside the store, I thought I'd take you over to the Titleist website so we can talk about the technology inside the TSi2 and TSi3 models. Now, first of all, I found it interesting that they're both priced at the same price point, but there's definitely some differences. And while it might seem obvious that you should choose the TSi3 because it's more adjustable, there's a couple reasons why you might not. So let's explore some of the technology inside. Titleist claims that the new TSi drivers are going to deliver you incredible distance, and that is the big selling point of these drivers. They do that in a few ways. First off, they use an aerospace titanium. This titanium is actually made in Pittsburgh in a single foundry, and I found that pretty interesting. Keep that American-made story. However, those materials are very tough to work with, and this is the first time that this material has been used in a driver of its kind. With those lighter weight materials combined with the new shape of these drivers, Titleist claims these are more aerodynamic, so they move faster through the air. That, of course, is going to deliver you faster club head speeds and faster ball speeds, leaving the club as well. These new TSi series of drivers also feature multi-dimensional stability. Titleist says that their drivers again produce more speed and tighter spin range up and down the face, which basically means they're a little bit more forgiving. And who wouldn't want a little bit more forgiveness in their drives? I certainly would. Now, the TSi2 is really marketed to golfers who need a little extra distance as well as a little extra forgiveness. The TSi3 is for players who create more consistent contact and they want more control over their ball flight. That's why it features a perimeter weighting system so you can adjust that right and left ball movement. Now, like I said, it's a little strange that both of these drivers cost the same. If you look at other manufacturers, generally, if you have more customization options, that's going to drive a premium price. But I suppose the features of a little bit more forgiveness and further ball flight will attract people to spend the same amount of money for less flexibility. So let's head into Edwin Watts, speak to Gary, the manager of the store, and he'll explain why this new weighting system and adjustability is so special.
The 3, you could move this weight into 5 spots on the back.
Okay.
You know how our flash goes from here to here?
Yep.
Well, now research by these guys says if I take that weight and I move it clear over here, I've really influenced like the center of gravity.
Okay.
Like if I put it way over here and then imagine hitting a ball out here, it may really kick open.
Right.
On the other hand, if I put it way over here, imagine hitting one here, it'll really kick shut.
Sure.
So they're saying when you put it clear to the toe or clear to the heel, you know, you're changing your hitting zone kind of, or the forgiveness of the hitting zone.
Sure.
So Titleist is like, here's what we've done. We've made it a lot smaller, you know, of a track. So you can get your 5 spots, but they're more or less still behind the club head.
Right. Makes sense.
You know, you're influencing it ever so slightly on its rotation.
Yeah.
But you're not taking away the forgiveness. And, you know, and after the fact...
That's probably promoting a draw, would you say?
If you put it here, it will.
Yeah.
If you put it here, it will promote a fade.
Yeah.
But the idea with them is it's a heavier weight in a shorter track. So they always say you want to draw the ball to Augusta. Well, the beauty of it would be if you were a pro and you had a groove swing that pretty much matched up and hit everything straight. If you could take your driver like this and set it on draw.
Right.
If you made the same swing.
Yep.
In theory, it should give you that draw without you having to work at it.
Right.
So I think that part would be great for a pro. You know, they're so exact that,
sure.
You know, Dustin Johnson might be wanting to get like a 3-yard fade. So he could take his sim driver and maybe move the weight just, you know, a quarter tick towards the toe. And maybe that would give him that little bit more fade.
Right.
You know, instead of a dead straight ball, he'd get like a 3-yard cut.
All right, so we're going to try both the TSi2 and the TSi3 here. We've got a number of different shaft options. The 2 is going to be a little bit higher launch. The 3 is going to give you a little bit more adjustability. So we're going to try both out, a couple of different shafts on each, and we'll check the stats. Our setup here is going to be the hazardous, which is very similar to what I've got on my current driver. My current driver, Callaway Epic. Hazardous smoke, we've got it set up neutral. Looks like this is set to 10 degrees. So this is a 9-degree loft. We're set to 10 just to match it to the other driver. 224 carry, 264 total. Now on the Titleist website, they said that this is supposed to be a better sounding driver. Definitely a lot different than my Epic. It's a little more tingy for sure. I don't know if I love the sound, to be quite honest with you, but I like the distance. That's living up to the hype right there for sure. All right, another good one here. A little straighter. Not quite as much rollout, but we got 220 rolled out to 250. All right, we're gonna switch over now. I'm switching over. This is still the TS3. This has the Tense by Mitsubishi, 65 grams. This head is definitely bigger than I'm used to. It's 460 cc's, but the head itself is huge. There we go. And you can feel it when you hit it. As you can see. Drawing just a little bit there. This is the Tense Mitsubishi Chemical 65 gram. Actually, this is a 55 gram stiff flex. We got 10-degree setup here, and this is the TSi2. Tell you what, I don't generally swing with a mask on. It's a little different. Let's see if we get another good one here. We roll down to 251, carry 225, total distance 251. 232 carry, total distance 255. So I think we have a pretty good idea on the Tense from Mitsubishi. Now we're going to switch over to a really bad boy shaft here. This is the TSi2. We've got a serious shaft on this club. This is Graphite Designs D16 Stiff Flex Tour AD. The list price on this club, by the way, $749. All tricked out. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. Better. Definitely better. There's pretty immediate feedback from these clubs. You can tell the sweet spot when you hit it. That time I did. But that is hooking, wow. As you can see, everything was kind of to the left there. Especially the ones I thought I hit it really well. They all seem to go a little bit left. You can see I'm all over the place here. This last one with that last driver is not a good setup for me. I was yanking everything, as you can see. Let's take a look at some of these stats here. If we're looking at our first setup, which was the TSi3. So on average, 92 mile an hour swing speed. Ball was leaving at 133.4. Not too bad there. I was 0.2 degrees off. If you look at the spin here, side spin, 108 left, backspin 2407, so a little bit higher spin there. If we go to the next shaft here, this is the Tense shaft, 65 gram. If we go to the 65 gram Tense shaft, we're picking up quite a bit less backspin, so I'm assuming this rolled out a little bit more. Total different distance was much better there, 232 yards to 246 yards. So that's absolutely a better setup for me.
Okay, one little note while I was editing this, I noticed that I had a swing in there that probably should have been removed. So that might account for the difference in distance. I don't think it was as severe because I was looking at the screen, hitting a lot of shots. Most of the time they were very, very similar. So sorry about that. That happens sometimes when you're running and gunning and you're one-man banding. Hopefully you'll forgive me, but let's move on to the rest of the stats here.
Swing speed a little bit higher at 93.7. I was getting a little bit more warmed up, but I think the yardage there was pretty considerably different. The next set, when we move into the TSi2 range, in general, my swing speed was a little bit faster, 94.1, the club head speed. It was leaving at 136, I was leaving a little bit faster as well. But that didn't necessarily translate into too much more yardage. 250 total yards, carry at 213 over 208. So overall, fairly similar stats. If I was a robot, these wouldn't be too far different, but clearly getting a little bit better backspin here from the TSi3. What was it there? Yeah, 2030. So a little bit less backspin. In terms of side spin, that's just me, the swinger. And then miles per hour, not leaving too much different. 93.7 versus 94.1.
All right, so that's my take on these two incredible clubs. I think I would definitely pick the 3 if it was me, have that little extra adjustability and a little bit lower launching because I actually launched the ball a bit too high, but your swing might be different. So let me know what you choose down in the comments below. Let me know what other gear you'd like me to take a look at because I'd love to do that for you. I'll catch you back here next week on another edition of Let's Play Through.